Hello, amazing hackers. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to the channel. I have with me the amazing Mr. Brian, aka Chironin. Could you please introduce yourself, my amazing friend?
What up, you amazing hackers? It's your boy, the humble hacker from Chi-Town, Chironin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for appearing on the channel again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You've been on the channel before and it was amazing. So I was like, why not have him back? Could you tell us a little bit about what you do, my friend?
I am a lot of things. Been multitasking a lot. I'm a senior SOC analyst. I am a part to full-time hacker. I'm beginning my bug bounty journey as well. Also a martial artist working on the stunt team, actor, make music and like in rhymes and stuff like that. Yeah. And I also bake when my wife and daughter want me to.
Wow, how do you manage to have so much to do in a day and still manage to get by?
I have a loving wife that puts her foot in my ass when I need it. She always tells me that I'm either working too hard or I need to like spread my stuff out that I'm doing. And that helps me out a lot because she's like my rock, keeping me keeping me grounded and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely important to have somebody around you that cares about you and then whips you into shape a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your martial arts, please? What martial arts is it?
Damn. I trained in a lot since I was like 8. I did karate, aikido, jujitsu currently, Muay Thai, and right now I'm doing Kali, uh Biketi Tursa, where it's like stick fighting, knife fighting, and doing like empty hand and stuff like that. I definitely enjoyed it. Really helps with in terms of getting my flexibility back because originally I couldn't even do an infant V like that. Now I can now I can like kind of do the splits because I have to like kick high because A, I'm short, and B, everyone's taller than me. So it kind of becomes like required.
Does it also help with mental health?
Yeah, because it's productivity. It's stuff that gets my mind moving and like and just out processes the bad stuff and keeps me kind of like zoned in on like the tasks that I'm doing. That's kind of like why I do so much stuff anyway, because I just have uh because like my mental health stuff and it helps me out getting that out of my system.
If you'd have to think of 24 hours, how would you divide them between hacking, doing your hobbies, and eating and sleeping? Because of course we have to sleep as well.
Right. I have to do that. I put my stuff out, like my activities are in blocks. So originally I was like all over the place where I didn't know like what the hell I was doing like at all. So what I do now is like I give myself allocated time on my calendar. So like at this time from here to here, I'm doing this. This time from here to here, I'm doing that. This time from here to here, I'm doing this. And then that and once that like time is up, then I'm done. And I go on to my next task and everything. So I'm not trying to do like everything at the same time.
And when you take a, let's say you take a word block for the viewers, what does an SOC analyst do?
Oh, that's the what's known as the well, best definition I can give is the army or of cybersecurity. They are the first line of defense. So if something happens, then we would get the alert in. We would see what the attack type is, investigate on like the host and on like the network to see if there's been any like IOCs, like indicators of compromise, do like end user education, training, stuff like that for end users, like for phishing attacks, stuff like that. Definitely doing a lot of network traffic and like watching and reading, and then having to stay up to date on like a new attack types and stuff like and like in everything that's happening.
That sounds exciting. For somebody who wants to become an SOC analyst, do you have any tips?
Uh, tips, definitely, like first and foremost, know how to read a PCAP, and that translates to no, actually, I told that much I thought on that one, but definitely knowing how to read PCAPs is one. Knowing how to navigate and pull data from reporting, from logging tools like Splunk. I had to learn that, and it was pretty hectic, but I can move through that like no problem with Splunk and everything. Uh, Knowing how security appliances work, like FireEye or Barracuda, knowing how they like handle data, what they show like Palo Alto and stuff like that, knowing how to read like logs from there. The simplest thing, that was a lot because that's what I do, but like the simplest thing is knowing just how to read traffic logs, firewall logs, and learning Splunk. I think that those are like the most that help, on top of investigating like IP addresses and URLs to see if they're malicious and stuff like that using VirusTotal. I think that's a lot.
Super interesting. See, that really does. That sounds super interesting. I've had the garage here near me, and they told me we recently had an incident and we were looking for somebody to help us out because we were getting hacked and we had problems with that. Do you think it's viable for people to, would you recommend that they go into SOC, or would you say no, go into pen testing? What's your take on that?
Shiitake mushroom. Okay.
If you had to,
I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. For SOC, it's easy to go through the front door. But for pen testing, what I've been seeing a lot is like you need a backstage pass and somebody who knows you to vouch that you have a pass. It's like, if that makes sense, because like like for SOC, it's pretty, it's like straightforward, where it's like where if you can understand A, B, and C, okay, like I was able to get jobs like without like my security plus when I was on that whole CompTIA triad thing, and I was able to get into a SOC with just like my A plus and my network plus, and like that was it. But when it came to pen testing, whatever, it's like there was so many more like requirements where it kind of felt like in order for me to even get any recognition, I had to go in there like Sylvester Stallone and Cobra, where I'm like, you're the disease and I'm the cure. And I'd like pull out the pistol, start shooting everybody, and they go, oh, this is what he does. Okay, let's hire him on. You know what I mean? Like that's what I kept feeling when I tried to get into the pen testing field, that I had to go straight like Rambo or somebody, just for someone to go, okay, you're skilled to do the job, But with SOC, it's it's pretty streamlined, and it's a dope foundation for the other stuff, because you're on the defense side. So now you know how to defend against these attacks, but then if you know how to attack as well, that helps on both.
oh yeah, definitely. I understand what you're saying. Like, for if I can recap, I think you're saying that certificates are definitely a requirement in pen testing, and quite a lot of them, because I understand that, like, when I wanted to break into pen testing, everywhere I looked, it was OSCP, OSCP, OSCP required. And no, don't get me wrong, I love the test, but it's a grueling 24-hour exam. Everybody who took it will vouch for that. And I think there is still some skills missing, essential skills from a pen tester that has OSCP. Don't get me wrong again, perfectly fine exam. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'd rather have the PNPT from DCM. Like his certificate brings a lot more of the things that I find important forward, like documentation. And of course, OSCP touches on documentation, but not in a way that I would like them to touch upon it. Like reporting is important, but test plan is important. I think it's important that you know exactly what goes into a specific pen test to like understand why it's important to have somebody vouch for you in this world. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But and also I think it's also important to realize that these certificates are not impossible to get. If a ex-junkie rat can get them, you can get them too, probably. Everybody can. You just put your mind to, I don't think everybody can, but I think most of the people watching this can put their mind to it if they buckle down. I think it's just when it comes to certificates, what do you think is the most difficult part of getting a certificate like OSCP, for example?
And this is my opinion. The practicality, that's the most important aspect, because you can't brain dump that. And when I took my CEH, that I didn't do there was no like practicality on there. I knew it, but that was basically it. I just had to just like know the answer like in my head, as opposed to like something that's like on the OSCP where you actually do it. You know, that I value more, where it's for certs that you have to actually process the stuff on your own without trying to guess like a letter or something like that. Like pick A through D or something is like a lot more beneficial to me, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I just can't do because when I went through the CompTIA stuff and the CEH stuff, it just felt too like brain dump to me. And I think the damn thing is like 4 hours, and I was like done in less than 58 minutes. You know, but then you translate that to the OSCP and it's like, nah, you have to actually know this stuff.
Yeah, like it's when somebody tells me that they know cross-site scripting, for example, and I let them loose on my labs. They go like two labs deep, and they stop. And like, yeah, that's very, very basic stuff, but that's not real life scenarios. I once had to spend literally 2 days cracking a cross-site scripting. And that's what real hacking's like, in my opinion, as well. Hacking is not pen testing, it's not bug bounties. Bug bounties is not hacking, it's not pen testing. These are three different things. Because on my assignments, on my pen testing assignments, usually my client tells me, stop. If you reach my network and you're able to break into it, stop. Don't even dare reverse shelling, please. Don't even dare prevesking, because if you prevesk, you expose me to a whole world of shit.
Yeah.
I have never seen that where they ask to prevesk, and maybe, of course, it's not unheard of, but I think it's a little bit more rare than these practice things let out to be, you know. And it's strange because I've seen like top 1% hackers on Try Hack Me and stuff like that, and they have a hard time getting hired by companies. It really surprises me, because then I think these practice platforms are really doing a good job gamifying hacking. But like, should it, in your opinion, should hacking be gamified as much as it is these days, or do you think it's going a bit too far?
That's I'm a 50-50 split on that one, because like I always see the gray, like the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I see the good and the bad, so I don't pick I don't pick like the whole side thing. It's great because we're having so many people like from all walks of life um in this game, you know. But then
But is it marketable? Like that's my
um that's that
it should be.
it should be. It really should be because like
These
I
people
worked
fuck you up.
yeah, dude, I used to do sysadmin for and the manager, he didn't know dick about security. All he knew was malware bites. That's it. I'm like, what? No, what? Get your no. And like it was like, dude, if you're more security conscious about this stuff, then it would be more beneficial to the company instead of just like depending on just one antivirus. Because I was working there when WannaCry first hit, and that was insane to do with just one antivirus, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I was like, if we had more people that can actually like see this stuff, know what it is, like stop it, know how it works, then we would be way better off. I think, you know, like I just feel that we have like a lot of people that's already in it, but then there's the bad ones. You have to like think about like them too, and it's like, God, you're trying to like, ruin this for everybody, bro. I don't like that, not at all.
I feel yeah. I like again, unpopular opinion. I hate that most pen testing companies focus so much on the OWASP top 10. Bruh, there's that's the
This
10, that's top 10. There's so many vulnerability categories out there. Get familiar with the SANS list, the CWE list, and try that and try expanding beyond just the basic vulnerabilities. Like we're doing an API pen test right now, and it's so far beyond the basics. It's kind of like, of course, you can apply the API top 10, but like I started next week. I'm not just gonna apply the API top 10. I'm gonna apply everything I know about API hacking. And of course, I love it that they've made a guide, but that is the 2017 API top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Or the
they came out with the
2019.
they came out with the 19 one already, right? Or the 2020.
They have the OWASP 2021 and the API top 19 or 17, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but still, that's 3 years old, bro. Like, so much has evolved since then. It's insane. Like, I don't even think GraphQL is on the OWASP top 10. Of course, there's injection.
Yes,
I think there's API. Hold on.
thought I saw it on there on the
On the normal OWASP, but not on the OWASP top 10. I feel on the OWASP top 10, it's on spot number 8. So NoSQL would be falling under that one. It is on there, thank God. But still, it's like a 3-year-old list. Like I don't like that people focus so much on that stuff, you know. It's of course it's good to determine coverage to a degree and to assign vulnerabilities to a specific category, but it's much more beneficial to look at what CWEs are applied to a specific category, look deeper into those WE specifically. Like for example, simple example, improper access control. It can mean so many things.
it could.
And people don't realize that. Like there's so many ways to bypass a 403. It's insane. 403 bypass could be security misconfiguration as well as broken object level authorization, as well as broken authentication. It could be all three at the exact same time. Sorry, a little bit of a rant on that.
Hey, I'm all for it because that's information that I did not know, and I'm a sponge. I knew info, Johnny 5 input. Little short circuit reference there. I have like too many of those. Too many pop culture references in my brain.
I love it. Don't worry about it. And I think it's important that we, like, as testers, as hackers, that we of course learn on all of these different techniques, which is why gamification is very important. But I also think it gives a little bit of a false sense of, hey, we can modify our skills very easily, which is definitely not true. It's really hard to find customers. Believe me, I've started a company now. But to get forward in life, I think you sometimes have to take that leap and learn as much as you can without knowing where it's gonna end. It-
Mm,
I don't know about you, but I learned for 3 years without getting much in return. Of course, I got some things in return. I got definitely a huge following. That's a great thing, but I didn't start making money until very recently.
mm.
And people
It's-
think you make money
it's-
with courses, but like, seriously, bro, the courses are like grand month. That sounds like good money, but not where we come from. Like honestly, in Belgium, that wouldn't even cover half my rent. Like, and then I still have to pay electricity bills, water bills, my internet, phone.
mm. Yeah, and that yeah,
Sorry,
that yeah, I haven't gotten paid yet, but I totally get where you're coming from, you know.
like that's why I'm gonna ask you this. Of course, feel free to
Hmm.
give your own opinion. Do you think bug
Hmm.
bounties are exploitative?
Bug bounties exploitable?
Exploitative of researchers?
Oh, exploitative of research. Um, heard horror stories of uh hunters who get a little bit like vengeful if stuff doesn't go their way, but then also at the same side from like the stock end, uh a lot of the security stuff is like done like in-house in parallel to bug hunting. So like there's like a security team that will be like working on stuff that they're testing out on their own, which won't exploit hunters on the back end, but then also there are like hunters who do their job looking for stuff and reporting. So it's I don't see it exploitative to where it's a problem. I just see that that's just how I see it.
I totally,
Hopefully that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. Sorry, you cut off a little bit, but we got the main message. And I think bug bounties, to be honest, recently, I think they've gotten more and more exploitative because if you look at the price of a pen tester, dear God, they are giving out literally pennies to a dollar. And that's what bothers me so much is that these researchers are giving their spare time for you, which is great and all, but sometimes I see that some bug bounty programs give like a case of their own product if you find a vulnerability on it. I don't like that. Um,
Hearing that gravitates me more towards your point because that's information that I also did not know about. I only saw it from like my end of me not like finding anything yet. I only found like one dupe, but then also from the other end, but also from the other end, like how like what a company's already doing on top of hunters like looking for new stuff. But from hearing that hunters are getting like shortchanged, and I'm like, yeah, that is a little bit exploitative. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really cool with that.
of
But I hear it though.
like if of course a pen tester, like what I don't like about it is that, like I said, pen testers just get paid so much more. And it would, if I would hire a bug bounty hunter, the time they would put in to make sure that my program is secure, I'm hiring hundreds of people. I think there are advantages to bug bounties as well, of course, because you get to test your skills against a real life target. which shows you that those games that are played on those platforms aren't usually the best against real life targets. You'll often find that they're very gamified, but they won't directly lead to a vulnerability. For example, if you are fighting something, try adding a WAF into the equation, or try adding a firewall to the equation that's putting an ingress filtering. Like, it's kind of that stuff that makes it real. We are attacking small individual scenarios, whereas a real target, first of all, it's gonna have what I hate about real targets is that they have all of these vulnerabilities that are so obvious. Real targets don't have that. They're deeply hidden within the functionality often. And
Right.
could you maybe, for you, give us some recon tips on how to find stuff? Like, what do you do for recon?
For me, I've been remapping my recon out like extensively. So now what I do is I gather all my subdomains with AMAS first, then I run them through HTTPX to find the live domains. Then I run them through those domains through Shodan or Census to see if I can find additional hosts there, or any other like new subdomains that I can dig up, and I just like collect them all. And I I I went through the OWASP top 10 like checklist, and I wrote each one of them down and what their functions are. And for each subdomain, I did it in OneNote, not by obviously not by hand, but in OneNote I would take that entire checklist that I built out, and then I would put the subdomain of what I'm working on that checklist, and then I would like just go down each one and just fill in what I like my findings on them. And once I'm done, then I'll start like the whole like testing section and whatnot, because I've been trying to find something to keep me on track, and nothing that I had was doing it until I started doing it. That was like it became I was like it was super easy. I was like more focused. My brain wasn't like all over the place going bananas.
Well, sorry about that. I think connection is breaking up, so it's probably on my end. Anyway, I'm gonna have to let you go. Anyway, it was talking to you, my friend, and everybody else
Oh,
watching. Mr. Brian is gonna be in the description below as well on my channel, Mr. Chironen. If you guys are looking for him, if you want more of him, he's also in one of the courses that we've created together, our ethical hacking guide, which covers a complete range of everything from API hacking to mobile hacking to network hacking to web hacking. You've got it, baby. All right, my friends, I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
mm.